Welcome to the EXP Group's discussion of ACCA paper P5, Advanced Performance Management. Today we want to look at this topic of beyond budgeting, which is quite a fascinating exercise in an attempt by companies to move beyond the constraints and the inflexibilities of traditional budgeting. Most candidates know from personal experience how painful a process it can be in going through the budget process at a major company. It can take months and months of time in order to get it finally approved. Now, the inspiration to beyond budgeting comes from an understanding of the problems that companies typically encounter when using conventional budgets. There is, for example, the problem of people gaming the system. Now, what do we mean by gaming the system? That means basically manipulating the system in order to achieve short-term results in order to meet budget. It may mean, for example, dropping prices way down in order to achieve the sales volume that's required by the budget. It may mean cutting expenses artificially by postponing certain critical expenditures like the repairs on machinery, or skipping maintenance expenditures in order to push the machines further and to keep costs down. Notice that these all have the consequence of costing the company in the future. In other words, gaming the system can be a manipulation for short-term gain, but at the expense of the future. Another problem, as we've already mentioned, is that conventional budgets can be inflexible, imposed from the top, in other words, imposed from the senior levels down. We can ask ourselves, what is actually the connection between a budget, which is addressing the immediate future, let's say the next 12 months, and the company's overall strategy? Another problem concerning budgets is that they tend to be used for too many different purposes. For example, they can be used as an instrument of authority in order to say to prohibit expenditures that may be outside the budget. Budgets are used to as a basis for performance appraisals with employees in order to determine what bonuses should be, or rewards. Budgets may actually be used as a status symbol for people who want to project power within an organization, and that the budget and the size of their budget reflects that kind of status that they have. And finally, budgets do reinforce what we call centralizing tendencies within a company, particularly if they do not, if the company does not delegate broadly competences and authorities to different levels inside the organization. The budget is kind of an instrument of centralizing control. Now, from academic circles, various proposals have been made to try to ameliorate the problems connected to how budgets are operated currently. And the candidate is left with a list of such proposals here in the express notes. In other words, the efforts have been directed towards how to make budgeting a more beneficial process or exercise for the company. Then others have gone further than that and have said, well, one should scrap budgets altogether. The budgeting process itself is like putting on a straitjacket on managers and preventing them from thinking broadly about issues. And that brings us to the rationale for moving to that stage of beyond budgeting. And there's a website which is dedicated to beyond budgeting. One can Google the buzzword beyond budgeting. It's become popular among certain companies in Scandinavia, IKEA is one prominent example, also banks. And the idea behind this beyond budgeting exercise is to structure the business in a way that there is rather diffused and decentralized power, decision-making power at the operational levels of the business, so that people are not making budgets and passing them up the line to be approved by some remote level, but the people who actually have to implement the budgets are conducting their own planning processes, which have a flexibility and a capability to react to opportunities as and when the market dictates. So this is actually a very, it's regarded by some as almost a revolutionary step forward in the evolution of a business in terms of how it's structured to be able to meet the needs of the marketplace. It requires decentralization. These are some of the prerequisites, and the empowerment of management at decentralized levels. Clear communication of company goals, so there's still an important vision that has to be articulated at the top, but the operational units have to be given the freedom to be able to make fast decisions at the local level. Now, this does not mean that the head office is kept in the dark as to what the operational units are actually up to. So there has to be a very, very good system of being able to track the business and understand what's going on as it is happening. But head office is acting primarily as a provider of internal support services. We could see the head office as being almost a consultant to the operational or business units, so that we, in a sense, instead of putting the head office at the top of the pyramid here in a traditional structure, we put it down below and we say head office is serving the operational units, so that we have basically inverted the pyramid in terms of where the importance lies with regard to the company's operations. So we can see that the implementation of a beyond budgeting approach requires a transformation of the culture, attitudes, values, and so on within a company. Trust, obviously, is a very important element in order to achieve decentralization. Heavy customer focus, and of course, underlying it all has to be management philosophy, and we could say also commitment to making it work.